Good morning. Today we are going to continue the second day on characterizing quadratic functions. We're going to be focusing mainly on finding the axis of symmetry from a quadratic function. So if you remember from Friday, we also talked about finding the axis of symmetry, but Friday we were given a graph. So today, let's just say we're not given a graph. How do we find the axis of symmetry if the equation of the graph is given and not the graph? Before we do that, let's just recall, what does the axis of symmetry mean, or what is an axis of symmetry? Well, an axis of symmetry is a vertical line that divide a parabola into halves. And remember that a parabola or a quadratic function is always in the form of y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. So if you look to the right, I gave you guys a small little graph to the right. So if I draw a line straight down the middle of this parabola here, if I can find the exact middle of the parabola that cuts this right in half, this line right here that I just drew, that would be called the axis of symmetry. Alright, if you think back to Friday, when we are finding the axis of symmetry when we were given a graph, there was two different ways we found them. We found the axis of symmetry on the graph if we have 1 0, meaning we have one x-intercept, or if we have 2 zeros, meaning we have two x-intercept. If we have if we have 1 0 or one x-intercept, then whatever that x value is, that is our axis of symmetry. If we have 2 zeros or two x-intercepts, we use the average of those 2 zeros, and whatever that comes to be, that's our axis of symmetry. But today we don't have a graph, so we don't know how many zeros or how many x-intercepts we have. So the way we do it is we're going to use a formula, the axis of symmetry formula, which is x is equal to negative b over 2a. Alright, let's move on to example 1 and see how we can use this formula to find the axis of symmetry for a quadratic function. So I'm going to slide this up for just a little bit so we can see this. Alright, so example 1 says we have y is equal to 2x squared plus 3x plus 4. So step number 1, the way you find the axis of symmetry is you want to find the value of a and you want to find the value of b. Alright, a, if you recall from our equation, a is the number right next to x squared. So the number x to x squared here is 2. So a is equal to 2. B is the number right next to the x. So the number right next to the x is 3. So b is equal to 3. So I want you to use the formula Remember, that was x equals to negative b over 2a. Alright, so let's use that formula to find the axis of symmetry. So x is equal to negative b, and we said b was 3, so negative 3 over 2a times 2, and our a was also 2 as well, 2a. So that will give us negative 3 over 4. So our axis of symmetry will be negative 3 over 4. And if you're like, Mr. Lower, how do you know if I'm right or if I'm wrong? Well, what you can do is you can check your work on a graphing calculator, which I don't have in the room, or you can go to Desmos. We use Desmos a few times. If you forgot how to get there, all you have to do is go to Safari or Google and type in DESMOS, and it should be the first thing that popped up on the search engine. When you get there, you can graph your graph, which was 2x squared plus 3x plus 4, which gave us this red or maroonish parabola. And then you can also graph your axis of symmetry, which was x is equal to negative 3 over 4, which gave us this blue line going straight down the parabola. So it looks like we are correct. This blue line does cut the parabola right in half. Alright, so what I encourage you to do is pause the video and try example 2 on your own and check on Desmos and see if you have the correct answer, and then check back with me and see if I have the correct answer as well too. Alright, example 2. So hopefully you gave that a try. So let's find the value of A and find the value of B. A again is right in front of the x squared, which is negative 3. Our B is right in front of the x, and that will be 10. So we're going to use a formula again to find, and the formula was x is equal to negative b over 2a. Use that to find the axis of symmetry. So x is equal to negative b was 10, negative 10 over 2a, and the a this time is negative 3. So if we were to simplify that, we will get negative 10 over negative 6. Simplify one more time, we'll just get, and if we divide the numerator and denominator by negative 2, we'll get a positive 5 over 3. So our axis of symmetry is x is equal to positive 5 over 3. Alright, and you're like, again, how do you know if you're right? Again, check on Desmos. Desmos will help you out. So my work on Desmos looks like this. I type in the equation, negative 3x squared plus 10x plus 9, and that gave me this maroon parabola that's facing down. And then our axis of symmetry was x is equal to 5 over 3, which is the line cutting, the blue line cutting straight down the middle of this maroon parabola. Alright, I hope you guys got the same thing, and if you didn't, write your question down and then I'll answer it during work time. Alright, so that was the first half of the notes of how to find the axis of symmetry if we're not given a graph and only given an equation. So I'm going to have to cut the video off now and then start part 2 of this because YouTube only let me have 10 minutes per video on YouTube. So see you in video 2, and in video 2 we'll be talking about how to find the vertex of a parabola if we're not given a graph. Alright, see you then.